Hey everybody, this is Mickey G. Along with Rodney T, we hope everyone had a Merry Christmas, and we're wishing all of you a Happy New Year. In this last edition of the year, Rodney and I talk about a little bit of everything. So we hope you enjoy. Old fools talking old school.
Yeah, that's what happened. Well, the commissioner of education for Tennessee don't even have a college degree.
Yeah.
They were like, how do you become the commissioner of education and I'm not saying just because you have a college degree to go make you that great as a commissioner. I just think there's some positions, I mean, if you in most cases
that's what they led us to believe.
Yeah. I mean, if I'm going to be I might not be the administrator. I may not have to have a medical degree, but at some point in the management of a hospital, you probably need some doctors, someone with doctor degrees to help you make decisions on, people and equipment and things of that nature kind of thing. It just sort of baffled Michael. They gave an update the other day on her that she's still working on some kind of certificate that she's still working on. So some say some kind of certificate. So it boggles your mind sometimes.
But you know what that was about though? That was just about keeping us out of it. That was a control of keeping poor people as a whole, but especially black folks out of being there. I was shocked when who was it? The vice president that just died. Man, what's his daughter's name? I can't even think of her name.
Yeah, his daughter is the one.
But come to find out, he didn't have a degree. I was looking at the thing here, and they were going over his life and all that. And they started talking about when he came up and this and that and then. He was a college dropout. Money to donate
Dick
enough.
Cheney.
Yeah, Dick Chaney. Yeah, Chaney was a college dropout.
Yeah.
But they would never let you believe that you could be vice president or president without having education.
Yeah. And I've always said, having a degree is not a panacea. There's a lot of degreed, stupid people in the world.
Yes, indeed.
With no common sense. All kind of books says not a damn bit of common sense. So there's definitely no kind of guarantee just because of that. But I just think about those kind of things, and then I look at Tennessee in particular being one of the worst states when it comes to education and things of that nature. And I'm thinking, okay, what are you doing to help that? Well, the governor's thing was to do these vouchers so people could go to private schools. And they just released the statistics that I think they said 75% of the ones who qualify for their vouchers were already in private schools.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't people in public schools who came over. They were already in private school. There was a lot of counties in the state of Tennessee that didn't have a private school to go to. So you couldn't qualify for a voucher. There wasn't a private school there to go to in that county. So they make it sound like it's all well and good, but when you turn back the peels on that onion, it still stinks.
Yeah.
That's just the way it is. But if you get the right people and you promise the right things, you get what you want.
Yeah.
And I think our current administration is a perfect example of that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think what that voucher plan was, just like most of the stuff that they do, is only geared for a small segment.
Yeah.
They want to get those white people that are not affluent enough to already have them in there, but they want to give them an escape route.
Yeah. Because it doesn't pay for all the tuition at these private schools. It only pays for a portion. You got to make up the rest yourself. And most of the people who could probably benefit from that, they don't have the money to make up the rest. So those people, those kids that were already in private schools at places, they were going to get these vouchers because they could make up the rest of the money. They were already there.
Exactly.
So
another benefit for those who have.
Another benefit for those who have. That's exactly right. exactly right.
Yeah.
So
It's the more it is, just like the ballots when you go and vote, when they have all these questions, state questions on there, so wound up, you don't know what you're voting for. You think you're voting for one thing, but one word in there turn it around to be the opposite of what you're going for. So it's just a matter of those rich manipulating the people. Because I mean, just think about it. What, during his first administration, you had the Koch brothers and all these others out there, supporting him and doing it. Well, they got what they want now. So you don't hear nothing about the Koch brothers, but you got some new assholes trying to get in on it, like Bezos and all them and Zuckerberg and all them. They trying to get on the wagon now. But they this is just going to be those who have and those who have nots.
Yep.
Pretty much that way now.
Yeah. I mean, that middle class is almost completely gone. It's just a matter of, like you say, the haves and have-nots, and unless things change, it's going to be that way, and you get even worse.
Oh, no doubt.
It's going to even get worse. So,
and I still submit that the vast majority of this, because this whole administration was born out of white supremacy, is to, in their eyes, I think, too many of us, even though it's not nearly enough and it's not fair for the amount of people, but too many of us have found a way out of that financial doldrum that they want all of us to be in.
Yeah. Well, that's why they're doing away with all the DEI and all these programs, because that was that avenue that they could, those disadvantaged people could try to make a way up. Now you've taken all those things away, and then, like I say, there was a whole lot of people who felt threatened because they used to be able to go to the top of the front of the line just because they were white. Then all of a sudden that all changed. You had to have some credentials to get it to the front of the line that they didn't have, and they didn't like that. So they're taking all those kind of things away now.
And they could bring they relatives on behind
them with them. Yeah.
Now there's competition. That's why I saw another report where they was talking about the white male. The reason that they're having problems is, they feel like they're being left behind. No, you got competition. That's what it is. You're being left. How are you being left behind when y'all got everything? You still go in every place, and there ain't nothing but white people, white men. How are you left behind? This is the first generation of white men growing up, and they'll never make the amount of money that their fathers did. But we ain't never had that option, And when one of us did make more than what our dad made, that was considered a feat. But it's an expectation for y'all.
Yeah. Well, it's a lot harder when you got to go out and work for it than just to have it given to you, handed to you. After all these years of getting handed to you, just because you was in the elite, now you got to go out and work for it. So, if they don't have the skill set to do those jobs to make the kind of money, no, they're not going to have the same amount of money.
Right.
They don't have the initiative to do those things. No, they're going to.
Exactly.
They don't have it being handed to them like they did in years past. No, they're not going to make the same kind of money. But, why should you feel threatened? That's just life in a capitalistic society,
Well, they have never had to live life. Like I said, they've been in a fictitious world that thought whiteness was the rightness. And they never forget that time something happened. I forget what it was. But this white boy was in the airport and he was acting a fool. So the airport security wrestled his ass to the ground to arrest him, and he hollered, "Y'all treating me like a black person." They have an expectation of their whiteness that they're not supposed to be. That's why I laugh. It ain't just the elites, but it's even the ones who are not elite have an expectation that their whiteness gives them some credibility and some advantage over everybody else. But I'll never forget that. They had it was recorded where he told, "Y'all treating me like a black person." Like, I'll be damned. That's what y'all think.
Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy. It's crazy.
It is, man. It really is. And it's blowing up in their faces now because the world has gotten more sophisticated, and I think they were complacent in thinking they had the monopoly and they were going to continue to be able to do what they do. But now, well, again, that's why they're getting all these black people out of positions. So, because now we know what the game is, but they're going to move the goalpost anyway.
Yeah. Well,
so
anybody with any kind of halfway decent business mind, could care less about what color you are. It's what you're going to do for my business.
Thank you.
And those times of taking somebody in just because they were the brother or cousins or uncles or whatever, somebody just because, like I say, they were white or whatever, those days are starting to go away. It's what can you do for me now? I don't care what color you are. Is what can you do for me as a business person now? And to me, that's where a lot of them have lost their positions. And I tell you, you might want to complain about the immigrants and non-documented people and all that stuff taking jobs away. You ain't never heard nobody say anything about all the Indians and Japanese and all these other national who are in here in very high positions and in positions of where they can make or break technology. Ain't nobody ever said anything about them. What about them?
Well,
they taking jobs too?
Well, you heard what the son of a bitch said, didn't you? He's talking about the American people are stupid, basically, and that sometimes we're going to have to, again, waffling on his immigration thing. Now we're going to have to start bringing in Chinese for these high-tech jobs because Americans just don't have the know-how to do it. So we're going to have to start bringing them back into our colleges and into our thing. Now you didn't shipped everybody out of here, and if they're not American citizens, but now you're going to bring in unqualified white South Africans in here, and they have get to the front of the line. And again, they're going to come out and say it's only for white South Africans. When he pulled up that lie about genocide over there, I was glad to see that prime minister or whatever he was call his ass out on it. And but now all of a sudden we got to bring in Chinese immigrants to fill roles because they're smarter.
Bring in people from your number one threat in the world to come in and help you keep your company going, your country going.
Yeah.
How smart is that?
Yeah, man.
How smart is that? They ain't smart. That's the problem.
That's right.
That's the problem.
Shows us who we're working with.
Yeah. Yeah. We're going to bring in our number one threat in the world, and we're going to bring them in to help us run our country. Yeah. Yeah. That makes a whole lot of sense.
And that was right after he had that meeting with Xi.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't talk him into something else.
Yeah.
All them world leaders just be taking advantage of this stupid bastard. It's wild, man. So now you go make the school Chinese and white now.
I guess. Yeah. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I got 11 things I noted here to talk about tonight. Guess how many we talked about?
0.
0. I'm just looking. I was talking about the gambling and the sports. I got that issue with Patrick Beverly, Stephen A. Smith. I got all the reels on Facebook, all the other stuff. We ain't touched on none of it.
I feel you because I went in earlier and I was scrolling through to write some stuff down to talk about because we hadn't talked in a while. Right. And I was sitting there, man, and I ain't wrote nothing down, man. I was looking. I said, well, there's enough going on earlier that we can talk about.
Yeah, we never have a problem talking about stuff.
Yeah,
I was just looking at this liquor. I said, I'm gonna write some stuff down as I heard it on the news or whatever. And I just looked down here and I ain't checked nothing off. So we still got a lot of stuff to talk about, brother. But,
yes, sir.
Let me take this for the night and get it wrapped up and get it to you so we can get back out there so our fans can hear from us again. and we'll try to get some of this other stuff in as we go along.
Yes, sir. No problem. No problem.
But good to get back in the routine, brother. I appreciate you being available.
Oh yeah, no problem, man. I wasn't gonna be doing nothing up here. Only thing you stopped me from doing is I said I ain't gonna drink nothing tonight while I'm talking on. I'm just gonna just talk, and cause hell, well, one reason I wasn't gonna drink that because all it takes is about a thimbleful and my ass will be asleep. Well, I done threw away more liquor, man. Wake up, ice all melted in it. It just ain't the same no more after that ice melt in it,
I know what you mean. I know what you mean. I actually was going to give you a call last, and that's why I said, but the weekends are so messed up between stuff we're doing during the day and then the games be on. I said I was going to give you a call, see if we could get together Saturday night, and then I was watching that Texas game, and I said, well, no, maybe this Saturday, not a good night to talk.
No, bro.
I ain't impressed with your boy Arch, Rodney.
I am neither. I'm not either. I've been telling, because see, I done messed around and made my youngest son. Oh, he's diehard, man. He almost want to get in and argue with me. I told him before the season started. I said they done hyped him up too much. I said it's too much expected, and just because your name is Manning, don't mean that you're gonna be a overnight success. And he's showing it.
Yeah.
It's easy to come in there when you're the backup and run a play or two and look good. But when you got to do it, and he's making the classic mistakes that I see as a quarterback, in that he'll drop back to pass. He has no anticipation. The guy's got to be wide open before he throws him the ball. And these days and age, when these athletes are so good and their coach so good, you got to throw receivers open. You'd like him to be wide open, but that ain't the case. He gets sacked more than anybody I've ever seen. And evidently they done told him not to run because he won't run. But when he wasn't playing all the time, he was running, looking all world.
Yeah.
But now, man, he just but it was too much too soon. I said, when's the last time you seen a college football game where a young man is in there and he's on every Warby Parker commercial and whatever commercial there is? I said, hell, they treat him like he's a professional.
Yeah. And ain't really proved nothing yet.
Nothing.
But he's got the name.
Yeah.
He's got the name.
Oh, Heisman. He's the front runner for the Heisman. Based on what?
What? I heard that.
Yeah, so I kind of half-ass watched it. As a matter of fact, I got fed up with it, watching it, because I already knew they was going to get their ass whooped. Because one thing, all these years that I followed Texas, that I know is they're going to have a problem with a mobile quarterback. I don't know what it is. They got great athletes, but they cannot handle a quarterback that's mobile. And the second thing is they had a nice little stretch going there where they were playing pretty good. Then you throw a bye in there coming into a game that important, and you saw penalty after penalty every time. If they did something good, it would be a penalty because they didn't got out of the rhythm. Because he gave him a few days off during that time. There's a certain point in time when you're going and doing stuff, you can't afford to break that chemistry that's going there. And that's what they did.
Yeah. I agree. Well, I'm putting all my eggs in the Vanderbilt basket. That's who I'm going with this year.
Hey, they played. They've been playing. I don't know. I can't stand that little quarterback they got, but that little son bitch is all right.
Oh, Pavia.
Yeah.
And you heard about his brothers, right? Got arrested down at the game and all that.
Oh no.
Oh yeah, he got a couple of brothers. I think ain't nothing but thugs, and they were down there.
He looked like one.
Yeah. They sort of from the hood, and they were down there at that game in Nashville and got in a fight down there, was fighting. And guy ran up and hit one of the police and took off running. They to go get him. They were both drunk. They had to go get him and stuff. But yeah, he's got a couple of brothers that are rogue too. But yeah, I got to give it to him. Now, to me, he's a tough quarterback. Yeah. He ain't afraid to run that ball. He'll run that ball. I think it's one of those things he's gonna get hurt because he does that. But after all them years of of losing and stuff. I'm glad to see Vanderbilt at least getting a little bit of recognition.
Yeah, he's a cocky sucker because I kept waiting for one of them big Texas linemen to tear his ass up, but it never happened. But I've been watching them because I watched them. Who did they play? I watched a couple of their games, and yeah, he's a little stuff because they come back, boy. They come back all the time, man.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, and Texas is known for that, of letting people back in the game.
Yeah,
I was like,
they
man,
let them back. They just didn't give them all the way, but they let them back in the game.
Yes, indeed. So I'm sitting there. I was telling my son, well, no, Dad. I said, I know what I'm looking at. I don't know what you looking at, partner. And because I tell you another thing too is Sark is getting so predictable. He runs the same over and over, and the he's like like the Cleveland Browns is with that boy from Oregon. They try to make him look good, and they try to make Manning look good, throwing them little dink and dunk passes out, and them little wide receiver screens. I kind of hate that play.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it puts you in third and long because then most of the time they don't work. And this boy is 6'4", 6'5", run pretty good. Put his ass out there and let him run some. He ain't no pocket quarterback. He's standing back there, overthrowing people. Just ain't nothing Heisman about it.
Yeah. No, I don't. I think there's a number of different quarterbacks, at least, that are ahead of him when it comes to the Heisman and stuff. But I like I said, I just wasn't impressed. I don't know. I don't know why. It just seemed like to me he's not a tough guy yet. And I think you got to get that mindset of I'm going to beat you. We might, we might be down, but I'm going to beat you. To me, he's almost like, okay, I'm going to go out there and do my part. Okay, well, didn't do that well. That's it. I just didn't see that kind of toughness, I guess, that I was wanting to see in a quarterback,
Well, see, Texas is notorious because that's what they did with old boy, the last quarterback that they had. They're saving him for the pros. They don't want him to get hurt.
Mm-hmm.
And because this boy, it looks like, and I think part of what his problem is, they've taken his instincts out of the game. They got him so programmed to do what they wanted him to do to look good, but not get hurt.
Yeah.
And then just like Pavia, I mean, he's playing instinctual football. That little bastard get back there. If it ain't there, he gone.
Gone, yeah.
He improvises. This boy stand back there until they sack his ass.
Mm-hmm.
And he's supposed to be such a mobile quarterback. So I just got sick of looking at it, man. I was like, I flipped the channel. And I started looking at the computer. And then with that little hopeful at the end, well, maybe they'd come back. Let me check it out. So
yeah, I know what you mean. But
and then these next two games ain't gonna be easy. They probably gonna get their ass kicked in both of them. Cause Texas A&M ain't no joke.
Oh no, they're not.
Mm-hmm.
They're not. I can't believe how they came back on South Carolina. That was.
I'm telling you.
Yeah, I couldn't believe that.
Oh, that's one of the things I was gonna talk about too, about that damn cop. His ass should be fired in the A&M game.
Yeah, I didn't read that story. I saw somewhere where I just saw the headlines where I guess Johnny Manzel was trying to defend him.
Yeah.
But I didn't read the story, so I don't know what he said. I didn't read the story.
Oh, he was on Shannon and Ocho Cinco's show.
Mm-hmm.
So, typical white dude, when they got through talking to his ass, he changed his tune, but he was taking up for the cop at first. And they got on him. And then he started saying, no, the cop was wrong. And Texas A&M did the right thing by getting him out of there and all that kind of stuff. And then he sided with the dude from South Carolina saying, I can understand that. I probably would have did that too. Run up in the tunnel, But they're talking about protecting their house and all that. That wasn't what the cop was doing. He was a diehard fan too, but still, he knew better than that. An idiot knows better than that.
Yeah.
know?
There was no cause whatsoever to do something like that. It's just like that commercial, was it that Allstate commercial, whatever? I just happened to get caught on camera.
Yeah.
That was what all it was. It was no reason at all. You just happened to get caught on camera doing something stupid. So
that's right.
Yeah,
he probably thought he was further up in that tunnel than he was.
Probably so. Yeah. So
I'm glad they're talking about. Well, he done lost his little extra money on that detail. No, his ass should be fired. Yeah. But they so emboldened now with this idiot we got in office.
You gotta be careful.
Buddy.
Be careful.
Yeah, this incident just shows you just don't do bad things in public. Cameras are everywhere. Just do the right thing. Well, folks, once again, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. We'll be back at you again next year. Until then, this is Mickey G.
Peace.